Welcome to Kala Stitch, and in today's episode, I'm going to talk about South Asian fashion and history, and we're also going to talk about textiles, fabric, and heavy impact of colonization. Let's go. The relationship between South Asia and Britain is a deep cut, but let's be real, its roots are tangled up in colonialism. But to understand the tragedy, you need to understand how powerful India was first. For over 1,500 years before the Mughals and the British came, India was a global soft power boss, dominating in religion, art, science, and yes, textiles. They set the trends. Okay, so this South Asian fabric, chins, was the OG. It came out of Golconda, modern-day Hyderabad, in the 16th century, bringing those iconic flower, leaf, and vine patterns. Fun fact, the word chin comes from the language of Hindi and Persian, where it means spotted or printed. Why was it popular? Because it was the ultimate flex. Unlike other fabric that faded, chins actually got vibrant every time you washed it. And Europeans were obsessed with it. They put it on their bodies, their furnitures, their walls, you name it, and they had chins everywhere. Here's the drama. The demand got so insane for chins that it seriously messed up the local European textile industry, and if you own or wear chins, you could end up in jail. It was that controversial. Chins is still popular nowadays. Talk about a power move by a textile. But that's nothing compared to the tragedy of our next iconic fabric, Dhaka muslin. Not Muslim. Anyways, it was the ultimate flex, the main event of every single fabric. This fabric was famous for being delicate and high art. It took like 16 wild steps using up to like 1,200 threads. And that's a lot. And it was so coveted that even Marie Antoinette was wearing it. Then the 1800s hit and the British East India Company came through and they were like, this is taking too long. This is where the villain origin story starts. Through colonial policies and industrialization, they basically launched an attack on the craft. There's also like horrific accounts of weavers having their thumbs cut off to stop the production completely. That's kind of sad and unfair. Talk about a major historical L. The iconic muslin production was completely crashed and almost went extinct. But the saga isn't over because Bangladesh government and some dedicated scientists are trying to bring back the Dhaka muslin. Yay! Let's switch gears to a craft that survived. Chicken curry. Not chicken curry. Anyways, chicken curry's history is very ancient and super exclusive. It was basically launched in Lucknow by Empress Noor Jahan, who was the ultimate textile queen and knew a timeless slave when she saw it. Initially, chicken curry was simple. White thread on white cloth. This classic look gradually evolved, leading to the use of different colored fabrics and very different colored of threads, moving beyond its original design. Why is this so special? Because every piece is a labor of work. We're talking about hours, sometimes weeks of work, and it's super detailed, it lasts forever, and it's generally worth passing down. Treat it right and your grandkids will be fighting for this kurta. It's the ultimate hand-me-down flex. Anyways, to show you how this colonial power dynamic extended beyond textiles, we're going to talk about Maharaja Ranjit Singh. He was basically the main character of 19th century Punjab. His court was famous for being ridiculously wealthy, but his true love? Horses. He would deck out on his horses with the most insane amount of jewels. We're talking about emeralds, pearls, gold, rubies, you name it, and it's on his horse. We're talking 300,000 worth of jewels on a horse. Anyways, pause the video to read this. British visitors clocked the tea. He put his best jewels on his horses. This shows how much South Asian jewelry means to us. It's for adornment, protection, and big life moment. It's like ultimate love language. Now, the real star, the Kohinoor diamond. Plot twist, the same diamond is chilling on King Charles' crown. Yes. The British acquired the Kohinoor diamond through a treaty signed by a literal child ruler, Maharaja Dulip Singh. Historians and most of the world sees this as a straight-up colonial loot, and it's giving classic colonizing behavior. India and Pakistan and others are still demanding its return, as they should. This is how colonization totally transformed the global textile game. The British essentially rigged the game, which led to decline of craft. Indian textile was highly valued in Europe for their beauty. Fun fact, the word pajamas and khaki, those words came from South Asia. Do you know about the Pashmina moment? Even Empress Josephine Napoleon was obsessed and rocking Pashmina shawl. Clearly, South Asian designs were the blueprint. European designers constantly copied and took inspiration from South Asian fabrics, textiles, and designs for their own work. This history still matters. There's a strong conversation between cultural appropriation when South Asian motifs and styles are being used in Western fashion without giving any credit or acknowledgement. It's giving post-colonial appropriation. Anyways, we'll unpack all that appropriation drama in the next video. Stay tuned. Bye!